유형 연습.
Section 1. You will hear a conversation between a tour company agent and a traveller discussing tour details. First, you have some time to read through questions 1 to 4. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 4.
Thank you for contacting Sunwave Tours. How may I help you?
Hi, my name is Alex. I'm here in Melbourne for work until this Saturday, and I'd like to go on the city tour that I saw advertised in your flyer. I'm available on either Wednesday or Thursday.
We can certainly accommodate that. What in our city are you interested in seeing?
Well, I am curious about both historical sites and contemporary culture, but I'm also interested in old architecture. So I do want to tour some art galleries more than anything. I heard that there's a national art gallery in the city.
Yes, there is. I'd actually recommend our Top Spots tour. It starts just in front of our office on Elizabeth Street and concludes at the National Gallery of Victoria, and there are lots of places to get lunch in that area afterward.
That really sounds ideal. And what does the tour cost?
Let's see. It's $55 for the half day. That runs for a total of about 5 hours. Or there is a full day tour that costs a bit more. It includes a 7-hour tour with a free lunch.
Seems reasonable enough. What time does the half-day tour start?
It's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. this Wednesday. The guide for this tour likes to start earlier in the day so that you can see the sunlight shines on the major landmarks at optimal times.
That might be a bit too early for me.
Then you might like the Major Views full-day tour this Thursday. That tour also stops by the National Gallery of Victoria but takes you up to popular viewing spots where you can see the city's most famous landmarks. It starts in the morning, too, at 11 a.m., but the bulk of it takes place in the afternoon, ending at 6 p.m. The guide will also take you to a nice restaurant for lunch.
Oh, all right. I reckon the Thursday tour will suit me best. What is the cost for that tour?
It's $70 per person, but we have a special this month. You get $25 off if you make at least 2 bookings.
That seems reasonable. However, I'm the only person, so please book just one spot for me.
Great. What's your name and phone number?
Alex Fenway. Fenway. And my mobile number is 555-671-920.
Thank you, Alex. On the day of the tour, there will be a guide at Central Station to meet you. The guide will be holding a large sign and wearing a T-shirt with Sunwave Tours printed on it.
Great. Thanks for all your help.
You now have 15 seconds to check your answers.
Section 2. You will hear a radio broadcast by an announcer about making purchases overseas. First, you have some time to read through questions 5 to 7. Now listen carefully and answer questions 5 to 7.
Good afternoon. Thanks for listening to today's broadcast of Smart Shopping. As we head into the winter season, many of you will be travelling out of the country for your annual holidays. And while away, you're likely to buy some souvenirs to bring back with you. On today's programme, I'm going to give you some tips on what to be cautious of and how to make good purchases while abroad. So, my first point is about payment. Tourists from the UK are mainly accustomed to pulling out a credit card and charging just about everything. Well, that's not such a good idea when overseas for two reasons. First, there is a lot of credit card fraud. Credit card usage is simply not secure. Secondly, the seller will have to charge you anywhere between 3 and 5% more in credit card fees that they must pay to credit card companies. So use cash if at all possible. And that brings me to my next word of advice. Check the exchange rates offered for your currency before making payments by cash or even credit cards. Some establishments offer poor rates, so it is better to exchange your money in a bank, which ensures better rates, and use local currency in those cases. Also, it is always a good idea to get tax refunds for your purchases when possible, as it can save you a lot of money. International travellers are often eligible for these refunds in many locations and won't have to pay taxes on the items they buy. Find out ahead of time what the minimum purchase amount is and what types of purchases are eligible. And don't forget to claim your refunds at your point of departure before checking in, as you may have to show the purchases to agents along with original receipts. But there are many items that you are not permitted to transport on planes or trains, so I also want to cover.
You now have 15 seconds to check your answers.
Section 2. You will hear a tour guide talking to some visitors about a national monument. First, you have some time to read through questions 8 to 11. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 8 to 11.
Welcome everyone to Devil's Tower National Monument. Not only can you view the famous Devil's Tower rock formation, but there are lots of great routes for hiking and rock climbing here in the park. If you are interested, you can ask about those activities at our climbing office. You'll find it conveniently located between our visitor center and gift shop. Now, Devil's Tower is situated in the picturesque Black Hills here in Wyoming. The formation itself is very imposing, standing at 867 feet, or 265 meters, from the base to the summit. To local Native Americans, this is a significant site. Because of that and its striking beauty, Devil's Tower was made an official national monument over a century ago. Since then, it has become a popular destination amongst rock climbers. So how did the rock formation get its unusual name? You might think it's because it can be dangerous to hike up or climb. Actually, explorer Colonel Richard Irving led an expedition to the area in 1875. His interpreter is said to have made an error translating the native language and said the unusual formation was named Bad God's Tower. Irving took that to mean the Devil's Tower, but many native people say that the formation was probably originally called Bear Tower or Bear's Lodge. Anyway, what are we all going to see and do at the park today? First, we are going to take a short hike up to a ridge that will offer you panoramic views of the tower and the park. The route we will be taking is called the Joyner Ridge Trail, and it is a marked loop that's 1.5 miles long. Just a few safety reminders before we head out on the trail. First, please watch your step during our hike as the trail we are taking is unpaved. Also, please be reminded that food is only permitted in specified areas that are marked with signs, and it is vital that you do not feed animals you may encounter in the park. After our hike, I'll take you to the visitor center where you can check out our displays and browse through souvenirs in our gift shop. Okay, so could you all please come this way?
You now have 15 seconds to check your answers.